The story begins like a fairy tale. A billionaire groom, a glamorous bride, a wedding staged in Venice that looked less like a union of two souls and more like a royal coronation. The chandeliers glittered, the Valentino gowns shimmered, and the world's paparazzi swarmed the canals to capture what many called the wedding of the year. But beneath the sparkle and champagne, behind the carefully curated smiles, there was a storm brewing, a storm that would not just shake a marriage, but dismantle reputations, freeze fortunes, and leave one woman stranded in a battle she could never win. That man was Jeff Bezos. Worth more than $200 billion, the founder of Amazon has built a life on precision, calculation, and unshakable control. And Lauren Sanchez, his bride, seemed to have it all: his love, his power, and a glamorous new role at the center of the billionaire world. But within weeks of their lavish vows, the empire cracked. And when it did, the fallout was brutal. Underscore 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 underscore. The moment everything changed. They say every great downfall begins with a single moment. For Lauren Sanchez, that moment came when Bezos looked her in the eye and delivered two words colder than any courtroom verdict. Too late. There was no bargaining, no gentle promise to work things out. Just those two words, and with them, the glittering dream collapsed. Only a month before, Lauren had been walking down an aisle lined with flowers imported from 5 different countries. Now she was being frozen out of the very world she had fought so hard to enter. The spotlight she once craved disappeared overnight. And the man she thought was her protector had, instead, become her most ruthless opponent. Underscore 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 underscore. The wedding of the century, or the setup of the decade. To outsiders, the wedding was a spectacle for the ages. Venice had never seen such a display of power. Celebrities, politicians, billionaires, everyone who mattered was there. The dinner cost more than most people's lifetime earnings. Cameras flashed, guests toasted, and every detail screamed opulence. But insiders now claim this wasn't a wedding, it was a setup. Because long before the champagne flowed, Bezos had already drawn the battle lines. Behind the velvet curtains, tucked away in a stack of legal files, lay a prenuptial agreement so airtight that some called it a financial fortress. This was no ordinary prenup. Sources revealed it had been drafted with military-like precision, each clause designed to anticipate every possible move. It didn't just protect assets, it weaponized them. Every loophole was sealed, every angle accounted for. And Lauren, with little room to negotiate, was left with 2 brutal choices: sign it or step aside.
She signed.
Underscore 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 underscore. The $5 billion Boomerang. At the time, Lauren may have believed the document was a formality, a necessary but harmless contract. But insiders say it was more like a loaded gun waiting to go off. The prenup carried a clause so ruthless it earned a chilling nickname in legal circles: the $5 billion Boomerang. It stipulated that if Lauren used the marriage for personal branding, through brand deals, media appearances, or even publicity-driven photos, her access to any financial settlement would be nullified. And that's exactly what happened. Just days after the Venice wedding, glossy spreads began appearing in major magazines. The focus wasn't on Bezos, the billionaire groom, but on Lauren, her designer gowns, her transformation into the new queen of luxury. For Jeff's team, this wasn't a harmless photo shoot. It was a violation. The prenup had been triggered. And suddenly, what was supposed to be the crowning moment of Lauren's life became the first piece of evidence in a $5 billion legal war. Underscore 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 underscore. The silent execution. If Lauren thought she could plead with Jeff, she underestimated the man who built Amazon from scratch. Bezos didn't lash out. He didn't scream. Instead, he executed the plan with the same cold precision he applies to rocket launches and business acquisitions. First, lawyers began circling. Assets were quietly restructured into untouchable shell companies. Lauren's access was cut off, stylists dismissed, assistants gone, publicists silent. Even close allies she had relied on switched sides overnight, feeding Bezos's team with private details of her plans. Then, the lawsuit came. Filed with allegations of exploitation, breach of trust, and brand manipulation, it wasn't just about ending the marriage. It was about dismantling Lauren's reputation. And the most devastating part? Insiders claim she only learned of the divorce when a legal courier handed her the papers while she was shopping in Malibu. No call. No warning. No final conversation. Just silence. Underscore 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 underscore. Social media turns. As news of the $5 billion divorce spread, the internet exploded. TikTok filled with mocking memes, glamorous yacht photos 1 second, courthouse images the next. Reddit threads buzzed with titles like, Bezos finally snaps. Twitter turned into a battlefield with hashtags like hashtag Bezos breaks free and hashtag Lauren loses big trending within hours. Even her loyal fan pages went dark. Influencers who had once posted about her glamorous wedding outfits now mocked the downfall. One viral comment summed up the public mood. She treated marriage like a PR campaign and lost against the CEO of outplaying the game. And perhaps the cruelest detail, none of her powerful friends defended her. Not the celebrities at the wedding, not the influencers she paid to post, not even Oprah, who had once stood beside her. One by one, they all ghosted her. Underscore 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 underscore. The trap revealed. By now, it was clear. This was no sudden emotional collapse. It was a premeditated trap. Bezos had anticipated everything, every move, every post, every photo op. Insiders say he'd been preparing for months, stacking his legal chess pieces in silence. While Lauren may have believed she was rebranding herself into the next billionaire queen, Bezos was quietly ensuring she could never touch his empire. One lawyer put it bluntly, this wasn't a prenup. It was a weapon. She signed a cage, and he locked the door. Underscore 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 underscore. The final blow. The coldest moment came when Lauren tried to reach out. She called. She texted. She begged for a chance to talk. But every effort was met with silence. And when she finally got through to Jeff, his answer was devastatingly simple. Too late. 2 words. That was all it took to end the story. The aftermath. Now, less than a month after the wedding of the year, Lauren Sanchez is nowhere to be found. Rumors say she's hiding in a villa, phones turned off, friends gone, reputation in ruins. The glamorous empire she dreamed of building, unfinished. Meanwhile, Bezos walks away not just with his fortune intact, but with his reputation sharpened. In the public eye, he's not just a billionaire, he's a strategist, a man who outplayed his opponent in the most brutal game of all, marriage. And for Lauren, the fall is more than financial. It's personal. The woman who once strutted through airports like a runway star now walks in silence, her story told by strangers, her narrative stripped from her own hands. The story isn't over. But if history has taught us anything, it's that in the world of billionaires, the story never ends here. Rumors swirl of counter-lawsuits, of desperate reputation strategies, of hidden recordings that could shift the narrative once again. For now, though, one truth remains undeniable. The Venice wedding wasn't the beginning of a fairy tale. It was the opening move in a billion-dollar chess game. And Jeff Bezos, with his ruthless foresight, made sure the final word belonged to him. 2 words, to be exact. Too late.